What we're dealing with is not really a migration or a refugee problem. It's a conscious attempt by Turkey to use migrants and refugees as geopolitical pawns to promote its own interests. The people who try to cross into Greece are not people who come from Syria, they don't come from Idlib. They've been living in Turkey for a long period of time. Most of them talk Turkish fluently. They've been fully supported by the Turkish government in terms of the Turkish government providing transfer for them to get to the border. And of course, Greece is doing what any sovereign state has a right to do to protect its border for any illegal crossings. This is what we have been doing. This is what we will continue to do. Now, obviously, we have seen over the past hours increased tension on the borders. There have been attempts to actually burn down the fence that we have. There have been numerous attempts to throw tear gases on our troops. So I'm afraid this is a constant and very systematic provocation on Turkey's behalf, which has nothing to do with the plight of these people. They're being used by Turkey, and this is the result is the scenes that you currently see on the Greek-Turkish border.
That may be the cause as seen, but the result is that you are the ones getting, to some extent, the blame and the bad reaction when we see the sort of pictures that we saw last week, where it is your forces of one sort or another who are engaged in stopping them, and it creates ugly scenes, and you get the blame.
Well, I don't see why we should be getting any blame for something we've publicly said that we will do. We have every right, Richard, to protect our borders, and this is exactly what we do. We were not the ones who initiated this crisis. We were not the ones who encouraged people to cross into Greece illegally. And frankly, this is a country that has, over the past years, accepted hundreds of thousands of migrants and refugees. We've opened up our homes, we've opened up our hearts. And it is totally, totally unacceptable as a prime minister of this country to be accused of not properly treating these people in times of great need. I mean, Greece has demonstrated its humanism throughout this crisis. But what we're not willing to do is we're not willing to engage in a process by which another country systematically uses and abuses these people to try to send them across the border. Now, in terms of the methodology and the methods that we use, we have not used any sort of excessive force, and we're always reacting. We're never initiating in terms of responding to the provocations that have taken place on the border.